Hey guys, it's Charlie at Gymnazo here, and today I'm going to give you the only fitness motivation video you need to hear. Check it out. Motivation is something that's thrown around a lot in the fitness world, but how do you find yours? There's several options, I think, from my experience that I've found. You look at fitness models, you look at athletes and sports people, and you aspire to be like them, and that's fine. But if you set your sights on someone like Schwarzenegger, the greatest bodybuilder ever, you're probably going to end up disappointed. But that's not to say that you shouldn't try. Aiming for the moon and end up in the stars, isn't there some kind of quote? It's a shit quote, but you know what I'm saying. If you look at the top of the top, the creme de la creme, the best, and aspire to be like them, then that's good enough motivation. But just have realistic expectations that you're probably not going to end up there without the help of top coaches, top trainers, top nutritionists, doctors for the bloods. That's right, the bloods, for the gear. These are things that we've got to take into account when looking at the top percent of fitness professionals and fitness people in the world. We're talking about motivation. How do you find it? How do you get yours? What about pre-workouts and caffeine? Does that count as motivation? I think it does. I think if you consume something that's high in taurine, high in caffeine, that gives you a boost and a buzz to go and train, then that can give you motivation. The negative sides of this are obviously some of these pre-workouts are very sketchy. I don't know if you ever heard about Jack 3D or Jacked over the years. Took it off the market because people were having heart attacks. You know, these things come at a price. Maybe stick to caffeine, but then, you know, caffeine also has its limitations and potential for addiction. So not ideal. But on the plus side, generally these are relatively safe options for you when trying to find something to boost your go and your oomph to get fit and do some exercise. You could look at yourself as inspiration, motivation, and I recommend this because ultimately you're competing against yourself the whole time. You're trying to improve yourself, improve your scores, your weights, your PRs, your distances run, your times, and you know, if you compete against everyone else, you're only going to end up disappointed because there's always going to be someone at that stage above you. Same way there's going to be someone aspiring to be at your level. You can look in the mirror and you can look at your results and be disappointed. Damn, I don't look as good as I should. I'm not performing as well as I should or as well as I'd like to. I'm not happy. I'm sad. I don't like what I see. Great, then work on it. Use that motivation, that feeling of negativity to improve yourself. On the flip side, you could look at yourself and say, damn, I'm looking good, done well, I'm pleased, I'm proud of what I've achieved so far in my fitness journey. And that's great, that's commendable. Build on it. Don't get complacent. Just look at the results and see how the work has paid off. Results are key, and I'll come back to that towards the end of the video. Another form of motivation is knowledge. You could look at new techniques, new training methods. You could research something and you could try it out in the gym. You could be buzzing to go and try the new technique and see what result it has for you, and just to change up the routine, which is fine. Variety is good, but at the same time, you need to have some kind of consistency in order to track your progress. So if every time you go in the gym doing whatever you feel like and you're not really keeping track of your weights or your speeds or times, you potentially are wasting time because you could be pushing on to that next level, but you're not, because you're not keeping track and you're changing too much. So this is where the program is important. Schedule your program, stick to it, get as far as you can in the program, progressing, and then when you feel like you're starting to plateau, you can change it, and that's when learning a new technique can come in handy. The problem with motivation is that if you rely on external sources all the time, you will forever be relying on external sources. And if you're the sort of person who develops almost an immunity to it, so you know, a tolerance to the pre-workouts and to the caffeine, stops working. You've run out of fitness models to look at, or you get bored of looking at the same people over and over again, you lose motivation. You're trying techniques just for the sake of it, one-legged shoulder press load of crap. It's unnecessary. If you're getting depressed from looking in the mirror too much and not liking what you see and developing some kind of body dysmorphia, that's a negative. So you don't want to go down that road either. So that leads me to the next point. You can't rely on external sources of motivation. You have to rely on you. It comes from you. The motivation to train rarely is before the session. It happens during. It happens when you're right in the thick of it. My advice is to get started, get going, whether it's beginning a program or just beginning a session for the day, stepping out the door to go for a run. As soon as you get going, as soon as you step on that treadmill, or even before that, as soon as you put your shoes on, do your laces up, don't even think about it. Get into the gym, get out the door, start walking, start moving, start mobilizing, start your light stretches. That's it. It's a snowball effect. You'll start going, and the motivation will come during the session. How do you get that motivation? The whole thing starts with the mindset, and the key is to get in the right mindset. So how do you do that? Well, you need to make it a habit. How do you make it a habit? You need to do it regularly. How do you do it regularly? You have to enjoy it, and you will enjoy it. That's the thing about fitness and exercise. That's why it's so important, and so many people implement it as part of their lifestyle. It's enjoyable. So the end goal is the results, the feel good factor, the look good factor, mental clarity, body, health, all the rest of it. You can't see that until you work towards it. So just getting started, working towards it, seeing some results, that changes your actions and your daily habits. Once you change your mindset to feel like exercise is good, that's when the habit becomes a reality, and that's where you find the daily motivation to do it. Look, I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it's doable for everyone, and little tricks in order to make it a positive experience can help. For example, you don't just have to do what you need, you can do what you want and what you need, and that way you play the balancing game. So if, for example, you just like playing a sport, fine, but if you can only play the sport once a week, twice a week, because that's when you can get the teams together to do the activity, but you want to do more exercise, just throw in a little bit of maybe resistance training or stretches or running. So you've got your sport that you love, and then you're implementing other activities that are going to complement the workout. Once you start doing the things that you need to do, as well as the things that you like to do, you'll start to appreciate them more because you'll improve at them. It's like when you start anything, you're crap. Everyone's a beginner somewhere until you practiced a bit, reached a level of competency, and then you start to enjoy it, and then you start to see the results of your hard work. It's the same with fitness. You have to do a little bit of activities you don't want to do and exercises you don't want to do, but there's always options and variations. If, for example, you absolutely hate squatting, it's not the only way to grow your legs. There's other options, other varieties, and you might find exercises that you prefer. Or if you can't do it because of injury, there's variations that you can do to help activate those muscles. What I'm ultimately getting at is the motivation is within you. You don't need the external sources. You don't need me. You don't need Arnie. You don't need coffee. You don't need anything. But use those things, use those consumables and those mediums and all that stuff that just gets you in the right mindset to do it. Use it, but don't become reliant on it, because really it's you. It's always been you. And if you improve, you will enjoy. Fitness, although it's hard to get going, once you are going, you will feel the benefits of it, and the habit will just become exactly that, a habit. Regular, consistent, do the things you like, then implement some things you're not too keen on, and if you don't know, you can learn. There's so many sources, so many resources online to find out how to do exercises properly, or to give you ideas for exercises. Use them. You ask me, leave some comments in the comment section if you have any questions about motivation. What's your source of motivation? I've gone through a few today, and really at the moment, and for quite a long time now, all I've really used is caffeine, because one, as I started training every day, taking pre-workouts every day just wasn't sitting right with me or my gut. It was too intense. The coffee at least is natural. You can limit it to small shots, gives you a bit of a boost, and I think there is some element of placebo to it. So just knowing that if I have the coffee, I'm going to have the energy, I'm going to smash the workout. Well, yeah, I'd probably smash the workout without it. The workout's going to be what it's going to be. Once you get going, the snowball starts rolling and growing. And the coffee, you know, I think a little bit of coffee here and there is okay. And if it helps me stay motivated, that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But I use all the examples that I've mentioned. You know, I'll look at athletes and sports people, I'll look at fitness models, I'll read their programs, I'll read their ideas, their tips, and I stay motivated. But ultimately, it just comes down to me, it comes down to you, you know, and it's got to be something that's sustainable. So there's only so many times you can read Arnold Schwarzenegger's Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. I've got to read that, by the way. You know, I don't want to have to take pre-workout every day. I'm okay with coffee. You know, there's only so many new techniques and new workouts I want to try. You know, I'm happy with the compound lifts. I'm happy doing the traditional old school methods of fitness. As long as there's a balance and variety, that's what works for me. So just changing it for the sake of it, just to stay motivated, again, it's not going to benefit you in the long run. When you know what works, you know what you need to do, and you're supposed to do it, do it. The key takeaway from this video is just to get going. Put the shoes on, do your laces up, into the gym, out the door, start moving, and the rest will just happen. The rest will just happen. And the more you do that, the more it becomes a habit, and the more you don't even think about it, and actually you enjoy the process and the habit of exercise, of fitness. Hopefully I've got my message across to you guys. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Remember, any comments below, I appreciate it. Any subscriptions and likes, it's always a good thing for us YouTubers. So until next time, we'll leave it there. See ya.